Hello everybody, my name is Esa Juvonen, and in this video we'll have a look on what does the new Brand Center in SharePoint Online actually means for the third-party developers. So we're recording this video in mid-April 2024, and we're using the Brand Center preview version. So the things are probably evolving if you're watching this later, but this is the first video showcasing how a third-party web part developer or a Microsoft Teams solution developer building and using SharePoint framework, human generators, and web parts can take advantage of the settings and font settings which are then defined and are available through Brand Center. Now, the Brand Center in the first version is enabling you to set a custom font or defining a font, which then out-of-the-box web part are reflecting. And of course, the third-party web parts, they have to know how to take advantage of that setting as well. Let's jump right into the screen and we'll walk through all of the news and demos and timelines and everything else. And also in practice, how do we actually do or adapt the third-party web part to take those font settings into use. Cool. So this is the Brand Center. This is the preview version. As said, this is April 2024 version, and we can see that we are able to manage the fonts here and apply the brands in the both SharePoint and Viva Connection. Now, in the brand fonts, I can upload a custom font. I can modify fonts and all of that. I can select which are the fonts which are visible to be selected by the end user. How does this then actually work in the UX? Well, that works in the UX in a way that if I refresh the page, let's double check that everything is working fine. I can then, as a site owner or at the site level, at least in this case, I'm able to define underneath the change look the font which is being rendered or being used. And as I change between the font, we can see actually the custom font being applied across the different headings and text and all of that stuff. And to be able to make the web part to be aware of the settings or adapt to that font which is selected, we need to do small modifications in the third-party web part. Now, they are not massive modifications. It's more on adapting to the custom properties within the CSS, but they are needed, so we cannot actually modify directly, or your third-party web parts will not by default adapting to this font settings. Small changes, but let's actually walk through what those changes are and what those changes are which are needed. Now, first of all, what I have here is a super clean new web part. So it's my super cool web part, which I created. I just scaffolded this, so there is no changes yet on the web part. And it's just a basic web part, basic out of the box, no JavaScript selection web part. Let me open the terminal there and let me actually show this in practice within the page. And you can see how it reflects without adapting to the fonts. And then also as we walk through the changes, what is needed for adapting font. So let me do here carp serve no browser because I want to actually surface this in the context of the page. So I'm able to modify and test the font adjustments. Now, kind of an unfortunate thing to call out here, the online workbench does not actually have the needed custom font option. So we need to be able to debug and test the font functionality in a live page. And I'm walking through how that can be actually done also as part of the demo. Cool. So now if we scroll a bit up on this terminal, we actually see the critical query string, which is the one which we actually want to use. So this is the one which we are setting or outputting as part of the build process, which basically gives the instructions for SharePoint to load the web part to be available within a page as well. So let's have a look on what that means in practice. So let me go to the page. Let me close that one. Let me add that query parameter, which I didn't copy. So let's go back in here and try to copy that again. And then Control C, Control C. There we go. Hopefully that's actually made it happen. And now if we do question mark and add that one over there, it is actually making sure that, first of all, there's the warning allow debug scripts, and we know what we're doing. So we actually going to say load debug script. Nothing happens immediately, but if I go back on the Visual Studio side, I can actually see now that there was a load happening from my local host. And this means that my web part manifest is aware, or the SharePoint Online is aware of my web part manifest, which was loaded on client side to be available within the UX. And what that means is then that if I put my page now into edit mode, and now if I go to my web part picker, I can actually see my web part all the way down, 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 down. Here I can see my cool font web part, which is then getting rendered within a page. Really cool. And let me republish, so we're able to test that. Is it working properly? It's still loading fine. I will refresh the page one more time, just double checking that everything's okay. And now if we go again on the change the font or look and feel settings here, change the look. And now we go to the font preview and set, for example, the Gothic next. We can actually see that the texts are adjusting in the out-of-the-box web parts, and out-of-the-box, this is the text web part and out-of-the-box title. But our web part is not adapting those changes because it's not aware of this functionality. So it's not aware of what kind of fonts are being set. Cool. How do we make it aware of what kind of fonts are being set? Well, this is the moment where we can kind of start thinking on how would this be implemented, or how is it implemented in practice. So we can kind of think through that. Of course, this is implemented in a way that there are global styles which our web part is supposed to take advantage. And in this case, we are actually adapting on using CSS custom properties which are on the page, which our web part will need to be aware of. And what I mean with that one is that if we go here, and if it goes in here, we can see a lot of custom CSS properties, 421 of them on the page. So now if we go here and filter on custom, and then scroll a bit down, we should be able to find the ones which we're looking for. There we go. We can see font family custom font 100, 200, 300, 400. So these are custom CSS properties which are currently not set. The reason why they're not set is that we don't have a custom font set on the page. So let's actually do that. Let me go to change the look. Let me go font preview, and let's adjust that to be again the Gothic, so we can see the change within a page. Let's save the changes. And there we go. And then let's have a look on again a bit more on the DevTools. We can actually see that, hey, now we have a value here in the font family custom section. And these are the ones which our web part is supposed to take advantage. So we're basically just adapting our web part to be aware of these custom properties, which are documented in our documentation. And then you can adapt to your web part based on the selection. So as long as the fonts within the web part are going to be set using that value, will be good for the web part to adapt on the changes within a page. Well, that's not too difficult, right? So let's actually go now to the code and let's do the modification. So here we are, going to the custom code, going to the custom solution. We can probably, let's actually pause this just in case, so it really refreshes the styles, making sure that that's happening. So here we go, we'll go here and we'll have a look on this one. So this is the style settings for our web part, and as we can see, we don't use currently any dereferences to that custom CSS properties which we actually have on the page. So let's do that required modification. So let's copy the font definition. I'm just going to copy that from another file. We can actually see that we're setting cool font web part font family based on the font family custom font 1, and if that's empty, we're going to fall back on font family base. That's what that basically means. So we are associating to that global custom property to get the information. And if that's empty, we're going to fall back on a font family base. Let's actually do the same also for the welcome text, which is a specific text section within our HTML, which we're outputting. And we should probably do the same in the links as well. So the links are adapting as we're rendering them. So as an example, this welcome text here, this welcome style, if we go in the web part and we can look for the welcome, there we go, there's the div which we're rendering and the text inside of this, which is the environmental message. We are adapting this to be based on the font family which is selected within a SharePoint site, making it adapted based on, again, the end user selection within a page. And obviously the same applies section for the cool font web part. So for example, this div will inherit that style setting. So all of these settings will be then rendered based on this custom CSS property value, or fall back as a font family base value as we can define there. Cool, that's super easy, right? Not a massive amount of work to be done, and it's already immediately available within a page. So let me actually refresh. Let's get the new content in place. We're serving again from local host. Could have probably done this without disconnecting or not. We could do a live refresh probably on the page, but again, this one, make sure that there's no caching issues. So let me actually refresh this one more time. Dun, 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 dun. And voila, we can actually see, we already saw some refreshings on the settings, but let's actually make sure that this is working now properly. So now if I go here, if I go change look, and if we go font preview, and then we can basically select whatever value you have here, and let's make sure that it's actually adapting. Yes, we can see, and now as I select stuff from here, we can see our web part and the selections and the text also adapting based on the selected font. There we go. Now we can see the clear change on the rendering of the things. These fonts are pretty close to each other, but there is a visual difference, but they're pretty close to each other. So it's not super clear that we are adapting, but we are clearly adapting. So that's all the change what is actually happening. So let's then have a look on what did I actually select? Let's double check that one more time. These things do happen when you don't script your demo. So there we go. Config next has been selected. Let me save that. So we have a custom font selected. And then we go and close all of that and take our development tools again in place. Let me select that styling place on the web part. It doesn't really matter when I'm looking into getting this information visible here. First of all, we had in the code, we said that we're going to fall back on a font family base if that value doesn't have a value, if there's nothing in here. What is that font family base? Well, let's go back on our code. Let's go back on our DevTools, and we can see a font family page. That is the backup value where we will basically fall if there is no custom font. And we can say that Sago UI, Sago UI Web, and all of that stuff, which is by default set within the SharePoint. But in our case, we are actually a bit more interested on those custom font custom values. And as we can see here, now we have that value for custom family font 100, and that's basically then setting it based on the custom font what is selected. Now, we do have quite a few of these values and properties available. They do have a different meaning. Some of them are primarily for links, and some of them are primarily for headers and all of that stuff. All of that is within the documentation, but this is how you can reference them within inside of your custom web part. So super simple, super easy to use, all documented, all of those custom font values, 100, 200, 300, all of that documented to get started. And that wasn't too bad, right? So only needed changes. We're going to do that. In the links, we could probably do 600 if I remember correctly. That is the right value for link based on our documentation. But again, we'll get the documentation references mentioned in the video as well, so you're able to double check that. But again, not bad, not shabby. This is really cool. What did that mean in English? I have no idea. But really cool, easily approachable, and we can make our custom web part adapted really easily based on the custom fonts which are being selected. Now, based on customer selection, they could have Comic Sans. They could have, well, probably nobody has Comic Sans, but they could have whatever fonts which is relevant for them, and you can make your custom web parts adapt on those custom fonts as well. Cool. That's it for this one. Please add comments on the video, add comments on the docs. If you have any questions, reach out. Feedback always welcome. Hopefully this one was a simple video explaining how easy it is for make your custom web parts to adapt on those custom fonts in practice. We do acknowledge, just to be clear, that it does require work. The web parts what I'm showcasing here, it's quite simple. So this is the baseline web part, and there's only 1 or 2 level views. So we do understand that there's a lot of much more complex web parts, and there could be much more complexity on adding those font values in. But that's exactly what we're doing also as for out-of-the-box web parts. So we're now going through all of the out-of-the-box web part and adapting them to use these font settings as well. That's why you can actually see that not all of the texts right now on the page are yet getting translated or transformed to use the right font. All of that is getting addressed. We are in the preview version right now as I'm recording this video. So this is going to get looking much better. Now, and in the future, of course, the Brand Central will have also other settings. So not just the fonts. That the idea is that you can control other options within the Brand Central there as well. And then we are able to make our web parts and experiences adapt on those. More on all of that a bit later. So this one was really focusing on the fonts. But cool, that's all we're going to do today. Hopefully that's useful for your solutions, and let's keep on developing those web parts.